Permodalan Nasional Berhad looks set for its fourth major leadership change in just over 3 years in the coming weeks. It has learned that its president-cum-group chief executive, Datuk Abdul Rahman Ahmad, is leaving once his contract expires at the end of September. Sources say he may take the chairman role at Sime Darby, where PNB has a majority stake of 51.1%. He will be succeeded by Jalil Rashid, Investment Director at Invesco Asset Management Singapore. Prior to joining Invesco in 2013, Jalil was the CEO of Kuala Lumpur-based Aberdeen Islamic Asset Management. The departure of Abdul Rahman may precede more changes at the top of PNB. Market talk has it that its Chief Financial Officer, Datuk Muhammad Nizam Zainuddin, is weighing retirement, while the contract of its Chief Strategy Officer, Datin Paduka Kartini Abdul Manaf, is currently on a 6-month extension up to the end of this year, following its expiry in June this year. The KL High Court will decide on November 11th whether to allow ex-Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak to walk out a free man or call for the defence. This is after the prosecution in Najib's SRC International trial officially wrapped up the case this afternoon. If the court decides there is no prima facie case, the Pekan MP will be acquitted of his 7 charges. Otherwise, he is to enter his defence come December. Najib will have 3 options, namely to testify from the witness stand where he could be subject to cross-examination by the prosecution, make an unsworn statement from the accused dock where he cannot be cross-examined, or keep quiet. The trial has spanned 58 days and wrapped up today with MACC's Rosli Hussain as its 57th prosecution witness. Najib is charged with 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, 1 for abuse of power and 3 for money laundering involving 42 million ringgit of SRC funds in 2014 and 2015. Sime Darby reported a 13% increase in fourth quarter net profit, driven mainly by its industrial and motors divisions. Earnings came in at 184 million ringgit on the back of 9.3 billion ringgit in revenue, which was up 9% from a year earlier. For the full year, net profit grew by 53% to 948 million ringgit, while top line grew by 7% to 36.16 billion. It declared a second interim dividend of 7 cents per share, as well as a special dividend of 1 cent per share. Sime Darby Group CEO Datuk Jeffrey Salim Davidson says the group's positive results in key markets for the industrial division helped compensate for the softness in the motors division's profits in Singapore, Hong Kong and Australia. He says early signs show that the industrial division will continue to take the lead in FY 2020. However, the pipeline of new models coming in from its stable of automotive brands are expected to generate some excitement in the market, with stable demand coming out of China. Petronas Gas says second quarter net profit slipped 1.3% to 502.9 million ringgit as higher tax expenses squeezed margins. Quarterly revenue rose 1.6% to 1.38 billion ringgit as it made more from utilities and gas processing. For its first half, bottom line climbed 2.6% to 1.02 billion ringgit, while revenue was 1.4% higher at 2.75 billion ringgit. It announced a second interim dividend of 16 cents per share. Looking ahead, the group's gas processing segment is expected to deliver improved earnings. This is following the higher fixed reservation charge under the 20-year gas processing agreement's second term, effective from 2019 until 2023. Meanwhile, despite the tariffs on gas transportation and regasification, PatGas believes the 2 segments should continue to contribute positively to earnings. MMC Corp says second quarter earnings more than tripled to 67.2 million ringgit. The group attributed its improved results to higher volume handled at Pelabuhan Tanjung Pelepas, lower operating cost at Johor Port and North Port Malaysia, and a gain on disposal of an asset held for sale. The group says profit would have been higher if not for the finance cost and depreciation due to the adoption of the MFRS 16 leases. Meanwhile, quarterly revenue rose 2.5% to 1.2 billion ringgit. MMC's strong second quarter earnings boosted its first half net profit to 120.7 million ringgit, almost double the 61.4 million recorded previously. Cumulative revenue, however, stood 4.3% lower at 2.37 billion ringgit due to lower contribution from the SSP line of the Klang Valley MRT project after its contract was revised last November, as well as slower progress from the Langat sewerage project.